This is your ultimate guide to mastering self-concept, self-love, self-validation, self-confidence, self-esteem, and everything on that list so that you can become the person of your dreams. What I'm about to share with you today has gotten me from being that quiet, shy girl that talks to no one, gives off negative energy, unconfident, and not secure in herself, to becoming the girl that can talk to anyone that she pleases because she's confident in herself and that no rejection will ever bring her down. By the end of this video, you'll be able to do exactly what I've done by following the exact framework that I'm about to share with you today so that you can start stepping into the highest version of yourself and start becoming the person of your dreams. If you're new here, I'm Krisha and I'm on a mission to help people live their best life and to help them create a life that they actually want to live. So gaining self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem, whatever, all comes down to self-perception. So if you want to gain self-confidence, if you want to gain self-love, if you want to start trusting yourself more, if you want to start doing all of these things, then you need to change how you perceive yourself. So if you're constantly saying how you're dumb or how you're stupid because of how you perceive yourself, you're naturally going to think that the other person is going to think the same about you. That's why you might think that everyone else thinks that you're this or you're that, right? When in reality, you're only thinking that other people think that because you're thinking about that about yourself. You're perceiving yourself pessimistically. You're not seeing yourself in a positive lens. Self-perception influences every single thing that we do. It affects our actions. It affects the way that we talk to ourselves. It affects the way that we show up for ourselves. And so it's really important that if we ever want to change this self-perception, we need to know how to change this self-perception. So changing self-perception basically just boils down to changing your self-talk and changing your actions, okay? So now how do we do that, okay? Let's first talk about how we can change our self-talk. The first thing that you need to do is to gain awareness on what your current speaking patterns are, right? In what tone are you talking to yourself? What words are you using? What is your vocabulary, you know? Are you talking to yourself like you're your best friend, or are you talking to yourself like you're your worst enemy, okay? You need to become aware of how you're talking to yourself. You can't really fix how you talk to yourself if you don't really know how you're actually talking to yourself, right? You need to first gain awareness on what phrases you're commonly using that you might think are detrimental to you. So these phrases could be things such as I'm lazy, I'm dumb, I'm smart, I'll never learn, I'll never be able to do that, I'll never be like her, I'll never be like that dude. You need to become aware of common phrases such as those that you say to yourself on a frequent basis. If you find that you commonly say things like that to your friends too, ask your friends to tell you and bring awareness to the situation and when you're talking to yourself in that tone, in that manner. And through your friends bringing awareness on your current vocabulary, then you'll be able to slowly build awareness even when your friends aren't around, and you'll be able to catch yourself when you're saying negative things about yourself and when you say things that you believe are probably negatively impacting you. Once you've gotten a sense of what you commonly say to yourself, create a list of things that you say to yourself that you believe are detrimental to you, right? And so once you have this list, then you're gonna look at each phrase and you're gonna see how you can change each phrase so that they bring a positive lens to you instead of framing yourself in a negative lens. Here's a really great example, okay? A lot of times we love to pick on ourselves about, oh, you know, how we're so stupid. You know, like I did this and I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. If you catch yourself saying those things continuously to yourself, your brain's literally gonna think that because your brain doesn't know when you're joking to yourself, okay? So that's why you have to take things seriously. You can't just think that a little joke to yourself is gonna be harmless towards yourself because your brain doesn't know what a joke is. The more that you tell yourself something, the more that it's gonna think it's true because you're gonna be identified more with the thing. So if you constantly talk to yourself and say negative things about you, then you're just gonna become a negative person. And a great way to change this specific phrase that I'm talking about is to go from I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'll never learn, to I'm learning, I'm okay, I'm just learning, and that's it, and just end it there, okay? When you have all these phrases in the back of your mind that you repeat to yourself constantly, you're naturally going to start to become that person. If you want to improve your self-concept, then you have to change the way that you're speaking to yourself. You need to change the way these words are framing yourself in, okay? And then slowly, once you start to replace this vocabulary, you start to build self-worth. You'll start to be like, you know what? I'm learning, I'm smart, I'm not stupid, you know? So when we change our vocabulary, we start to naturally change the way we perceive ourselves, and then we slowly build up our self-confidence, our self-worth, our self-value, and we start to perceive ourselves optimistically rather than pessimistically. Let's get this clear. This isn't about avoiding constructive criticism, nor is it about being narcissistic or avoiding your mistakes and not knowing when it's time to learn something and thinking that you're already good at it from the get-go. It's about being so secure in yourself that you're not going to let some passive comments and passive rejection bring you down. Why should it hurt you, okay? If you know you're pretty, if you know you're good at something, then why would it hurt you, okay? Like, imagine you're a ping pong master and then some like noob calls you up and be like, yo, you suck. And you're gonna be like, what is this dude talking about? Like, I'm a ping pong master. Like, you literally beat this dude in battle and he's like coming up to you and saying that you suck. It's kind of like that, okay? When you know yourself enough, when you have enough positive self-talk, when you know yourself enough that you're actually capable of doing things, then you're not gonna let passive comments and passive judgments affect you because you're secure in yourself. You don't need external validation. Like, sure, it's nice, but it's not a necessity. You don't depend on it. Your whole life doesn't depend on it, okay? So when you start to become so secure and so self-validated, then you don't need to really attach yourself to what other people think about you, okay? And like I said before, it's not about avoiding mistakes or constructive criticism or avoiding responsibility. It's about knowing yourself enough to be confident in your abilities. And if you constantly have negative self-talk, you know, deep down inside, you're probably a great person, okay? But all this negative self-talk kind of like clouds your perception of yourself, and so that makes you insecure in yourself. It makes you seek external validation. Improving this negative self-talk is a first step to getting secure in yourself and to be internally validated. Obviously, this process is not short, nor is it easy, but I assure you that if you follow this framework, then you'll be able to gain so much self-confidence, so much security in yourself that you won't need external validation. You'll be able to have the traits and qualities that you believe that you're meant to have, and not something that you have to mask away. And so the next thing in this framework is the actions that you have towards yourself, okay? Obviously, you can change all your self-talk and everything, but if you don't back up your self-talk with positive action, then your brain's just gonna like think you're lying to yourself, and it's not gonna believe what you're saying to yourself, and then you're gonna go back to thinking about yourself negatively because you're going to be like, oh yeah, you know, I lied to myself last time, so why should I even believe myself this time? To reinforce this positive self-talk with positive action, right? So how can we change the actions that we have towards ourselves? And what do I even mean by the actions that we have towards ourselves, right? I mean that you have to start showing up for yourself, right? And once you start showing up for yourself, you'll be able to start trusting yourself because you know that you're going to do exactly what you say you're going to do, right? Because you showed up for yourself continuously. So let's really just break this down and identify how we can really start to change our actions. So first of all, like before, you have to gain awareness on what actions that you believe are the most detrimental to you. Probably one of the most detrimental actions that you can have towards yourself is not showing up for yourself and just saying one thing, saying that you'll take yourself out on a date, saying that you'll finish all your assignments, saying that you won't procrastinate, and then doing the complete opposite, right? That's why you need to first gain awareness. What are your habits? Do you show up for yourself? Do your thoughts and actions match up, or are they misaligned? What actions serve you and don't serve you? What are your positive and negative habits? Do you treat yourself with kindness and respect, or do you not respect yourself and do you not treat yourself with love, okay? You need to start being aware of what type of actions you're actually doing towards yourself. Once you've gained an idea of what type of actions that you believe are probably the most detrimental towards you, you just need to start changing them. Basically, the end goal of this is that you want your actions towards yourself to show love, to show respect, to show trust, and to show accountability instead of the complete opposite. And this is actually a not so easy thing to do and actually requires a lot of self-awareness and creative problem solving in how you can actually change these detrimental actions towards yourself, okay? Because this is really all about the habits that you have and really about changing your habits. And the more identified you are with this habit, the more harder it is to change this habit and to change the actions towards yourself. Here are a couple of ideas if you want to start showing yourself some self-love. Showing self-confidence, showing trust, showing respect, all basically comes down to showing up for yourself. And how you start showing up for yourself is to start by keeping yourself accountable to doing one small thing every day, and then building it up from there, just a 1% increase, okay? So an example of this, if you find that you're always snoozing the alarm and never wake up on time, and then you end up rushing and then you're late and it just causes the worst day ever, then starting tomorrow, hold yourself accountable to not snoozing the alarm. Literally just put your phone at the other end of the room, then you have to get up to turn the alarm off and everything. Let yourself think that when you hit snooze, you are getting farther from your highest self. You're getting farther from the ideal person that you want to be, right? You have to let yourself think like, oh, does my ideal self actually snooze the alarm every single day? You're gonna be like, no, they don't. You know, why am I doing this? And then use that as your fuel source to get up out of bed and not snooze the alarm. Commit to waking up when you tell yourself to wake up every single day, and slowly like that you'll be able to start building your discipline and you'll be able to start showing up for yourself. Because once you start showing up for yourself when you wake up, then you can start showing up for yourself to other things, you know? You actually start doing exactly what you say you're gonna do. You're consistent in what your words are talking about and what your actions are talking about. They're consistent, they're aligned, and they're not misaligned. And I can't really tell you how to do the thing that you know you gotta do, because that's something that's up to you, okay? It's not like I can control what actions that you take, but I can just simply give you awareness and give you knowledge on what you can do to change your actions and to change your self-perception and to change your confidence levels and trust levels and everything, right? I can't just like hold you by the hand, force you to change your actions. That's the first thing, is you want to start showing up for yourself. So you want to show yourself accountability, respect, and discipline. And then you also want to show yourself love, okay? So how do we show ourselves love? What actions can we provide to ourselves that show and cultivate love, trust, and discipline? It can range from taking care of your health, to working on your business, to working on your future, cutting out toxic people from your life, journaling sessions, solo dates, all those things, all those little self-care activities that you see online. Those are self-love activities that you should reinforce your self-talk with, so that you can change your self-perception and your self-concept in a positive manner. So when you combine the power of positive self-talk, positive action towards yourself, you slowly start to build your self-love, self-discipline, self-trust, self-esteem, self-confidence, literally everything. You'd like hit every single category, okay? So that's why changing your self-perception and changing your self-concept is so crucial in building up all those things and becoming the person of your dreams, not physically, but characteristically and emotionally and mindset wise. You're becoming your best self. When I say becoming your best self, I'm not talking about, oh, you're gonna become your best like skinniest version and whatever. No, like you gotta become your best self in terms of your actions, in terms of the energy that you have towards yourself and the energy that you radiate towards other people, right? Do you come off as like closed off, unsociable and whatever? Or do you come off as lighthearted and very outgoing and everything? That brings me on to the end of my video. If you want to change your self-concept, then you got to change your self-talk, which you do by building awareness and changing the vocabulary that you use to talk to yourself. And you do this by changing your actions and start showing up for yourself every single day, rather than just being misaligned in what your words say and what you actually do. And that's it for this video. If you like this video, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing it to someone who may also find it useful and to help support the channel. If you want to get an exclusive sneak peek of every single video that I create or may not even create, then consider subscribing to my weekly newsletter, Glow Up Fridays. I'm Krisha, and I will see you next week.